Well, peace, everybody watching. This is Brother Hi John. I'm here with Nancy, but we're here to talk about a topic dealing with land, agriculture, farming, and so on. How important it is for Black people and even other races to get invested and involved with, let's say, Mother Nature or the earth, and we translate that as what agriculture. So I'm gonna present reasons why it's important for us to do that, and reasons why you may desire to do that. You know, it's important, but you may have certain things that you want to do in life that I'll be able to present to you that land will offer you. So I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna go through it quickly. I have a bullet point of list, or a list of bullet points. And Nav, you got any questions, man? You got the floor, let me know. I'll just pause and let you ask the question, and I'll explain. Okay, so on the left side of the slide, you see it says, why purchase land? So I'm gonna go through some of these reasons, and hopefully some of these reasons will resonate and be relevant to the people watching, to in Phoenix, Arizona, or in anywhere in the country watching. So why should we purchase land? Why is that significant? Well, one is you may be interested in agriculture or farming. We just spoke on that. You may want a homestead, like homesteading, basically just to live a private and secluded and serene lifestyle. Some people want to go off grid. They want to be off of the modern grid, away from the modern technological advances and so on, and have their own independent living. So off-grid living is another reason. The fourth reason is minimalist living, meaning some people want to live a minimum lifestyle. They don't want to live a materialistic or capitalistic lifestyle. They want to live a more simple lifestyle. The fifth reason is people may be interested in getting resources. They may need finances or different levels of income. So for resources, they can be an investment or it can just be residual income. It's two different ways that you can get resources from land. Some people want self-sufficient resources, meaning they want only to survive on their own products and their own things from the earth, directly from the source. So that would be supplies and different products that you have created yourself. Okay, yeah, economic freedom. Some people want the leverage of the economic freedom where they don't have to labor for a corporation or institution. They just want to depend on their own labor and exist self-sufficiently. So economic freedom is a reason that you might want to purchase land. You might want to buy land. Some people may just want an extra stream of income. That's really that maybe their sole intention. They don't want to just be out on the land for the rest of their life. They just might want an extra stream of income. Well, that will be an investment. Some people's intention may be they want a permanent home, and they may want ownership over something. They may feel like they need to own something. They may feel like they need to pass on that ownership to their children and their family and so on. Because with anything else other than land, if it's not property like real estate, you really will lose the value of it, or you will lose ownership of it. Because everything decays, everything dies, but land is permanent, and so that may be a significant reason why. Okay. Some people, they just need a healthier diet or healthier food available to them, and no better way than to grow it yourself. And that moves to the second point on this level is people may be interested in growing their own food. You know, they want to have their own garden, their own crops. It's probably for their general family, the extended family. So these are significant reasons. So if anybody watching this, they've never seen these different desires, or they never thought of these different desires for themselves or for their family, well, these may be some of the reasons why you might want to think about getting land. The third thing that's there is a family legacy. Some people may want to give an inheritance to their children, a perpetual inheritance. Some may want to secure their children's future. The landscape that we're in right now in society, things are real unstable, and how we get our resources and how we get jobs and opportunities is real thin and scarce, especially depending on our own people as Black people. So some people that see this, meaning Black people, may want to secure their child's future or their children's future, and that could be an intention or motivation. The next point is independent homeschooling. Some people may want their children free from the public school system, from the different curriculums that are taught in the Western school system and the academia, Western academia. So they may want to raise their children free from that conditioning that's in the modern or Western world. And the only way they can do that is they have to have free time themselves as parents to be able to guide and teach their children and educate their own children. So that could be a critical reason. Yeah, that's a proper point there. That's appropriate. That's true. Some people may be financially stable and completely, let's say, secure, and they may explore different parts of their life and get more access to time and and explore things spiritually. And so the next level we see is like in the yellow. That's basically to escape the societal crisis. So we see that we have a food shortage. We see that there's inflation. There's the COVID, these viruses. So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety about where society's going, and if it will be stable, if it will collapse. So if you have land, you really wouldn't be in any fear of a lot of these things that are dangerous to the bigger society right now. You would be completely independent and less sovereign or free, and you'll be able to escape whatever suffering will come to the general public. So that could be a reason that you might want land. So these societal problems that are happening right now. Another reason could be people want to escape the rat race. The capitalist fast life or quick life to basically get materialism and wealth, consumerism, competition, economic competition. People may want to leave that rat race or that competition. So others may want to escape the urban dilemma. So that's mainly for Black and Latino people that are in the inner cities dealing with deprivation and disenfranchisement, where they are suffering in these ghettos, these slums, these hoods. Well, the best way to escape that is go back to where our ancestors were. They were on the land. So before the black flight or the black migration out of the South, we were pretty much content with the land that we own, the property and land that we own, as being farmers. But when we move to these inner cities, now we facing a crisis of disenfranchisement, and that leads us to what? Crime. We could an intentional motivation for getting land could be try to escape that urban dilemma, these urban dilemmas. So the next point is some people may desire to have a community or village lifestyle. They might not want to live separate from their family or from their friends, from their social network, but they might want a closer bond like the African and Asian cultures and even Southern European cultures, where they live based on the village and the community. And especially our women who are forced to live in households, as householders or housewives, they may be desirous to have more of a village lifestyle where they're cooperating with other women in the village. Mm-hmm. And for the men, same thing. The men may want that privilege, that opportunity too. Those are major reasons. I will yield again. I'm not sure if this, I'm curious if you had anything to say about those, any questions about those points.
No, I'm really liking the list more. The more you move down towards the blue, the more I like it.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
light, what I'm saying? The full spectrum of color is nothing but the light, what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's what we're trying to shed light.
yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
So okay, I'm gonna move on to the next points. Some things that can be given as opportunity is space. Space is critical. Space gives you breath and prana. I don't know if people are into spirituality or yoga, different spiritual practices, or Tai Chi, different things like that. But space is critical when it comes to energy. So you might want space to be able to express yourself and stretch out. Some people may need freedom from being inside of buildings and institutions and corporations their whole life, but just freedom in general. Land just equals freedom and liberation, liberation of liberty. One thing I can say right now is that the forefathers of this country that established this country, they initially said it was life, liberty, and a pursuit of property or land. It was not life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. It was the pursuit of land. So that's why these pilgrims and these colonialists came from Europe, especially Western and Southern Europe. They came for the liberty that was the access to property and land and resource. And so they've changed the quote to happiness to, I guess, elude us or put a veil over our eyes. And I'll be dealing with that point in the future. But true liberation is having the space and freedom to have your own will, power over your own will, your own decisions, your own choices. So that could be a critical reason. So that's space, freedom, and liberation or liberty. The next point is you have free time and energy. So if you have a nice spread of acreage of land and you're producing enough produce from it and you're earning economic or income from it, you're getting economics from it, you might have free time, you see, because the earth will produce abundantly on its own. So that gives you free access of time to get into arts, if you're into music, if you're into dancing, if you're into painting, any of these type of things that any great society gave the privileges to their people to be able to practice. You'll be able to give yourself that freedom if you just purchase a certain amount of land and produce for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, free time and energy may be very valuable to a lot of people. And also learning. You can educate yourself if you into science, biology, history, or spirituality, studying ancient cultures. Then you have free time and the energy. Because when you're in an inner city, in an urban setting, and you have a career or a job or a 9 to 5, your energy is going to be low.
Yeah.
So that's the opportunity that land can afford. Free time and your energy being retained. So the next is peace. Yeah, peace of mind. That's probably one of the most valuable things on this list. It's a stress and anxiety free existence when you have that much space and freedom and time. So the stress and anxiety that comes from being in an urban setting, these inner cities, and even that leads to what depression, suicidal tendencies, mental health issues. So we can remove all of that by just returning back to the earth. The next point was getting closer to nature or getting closer to the earth. Now, the reason why that's significant is not just some generic, let's say, alternative or new age fluff. Is really scientific. Getting closer to nature. So that means health-wise, you can get psychological and mental health and spiritual health through good sunlight, fresh air, and even fresh water.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's an excellent point, because we're deprived from good sunlight and fresh air and fresh water by being in urban settings and buildings, institutions, and corporations all day and all of our lives. So that's why our health is in such a crisis, is because we're not out in nature. It's really that simple. Mm-hmm. Getting land gives you the opportunity to get closer for yourself personally, to get closer to nature, to the elements, earth, water, fire, air. The next point that's listed is physical health. With all of the different tasks that you'd have to do to maintain the land, and you being exposed to the sunlight and the elements, that will help you with your physical health naturally. You won't necessarily have to go to a gym and all these other extra alternative platforms. You can just, from being on your land and enjoying it and working it, better attain better physical health. And we know that because we know the Africans, when they were slaves and when they were farming in West Africa, and even the indigenous tribes and so on, their health was extremely way much more powerful than what we have today. We were extremely healthy. And if you go to Africa right now, or Asia, Southeast Asia, or Asia, you'll see that they're extremely healthy just by being in nature.
Yeah.
So physical health is critical, because I guess that's the deadliest problem that Black people have. The deadliest dilemma we have is not really even crime or murder. It's really our health. These diseases. These different diseases. So physical health was a heavy one. And all of that really leads to the mental health, physical health, and spiritual health as well. So that's all in one package. So the last but not least is literally a retreat. The land can be a retreat for you to get away from the physical, mundane, vain, or things that may be in ordinary life. Because life can be full of vanity and distractions. So the land can be a retreat to exclude you from the distractions, and you can get into your spiritual practices and spiritual exploration and so on. It can be therapeutic to get released. So you don't have to live or homestead on the land. You can just buy the land just as a retreat for vacations or for different times of the season, the equinoxes, or the winter solstice. You can go to the land and have a way to have access outside of the different distractions and worries inside of the city. Yeah. So it could be a spiritual retreat. It's really that simple. If you can afford it, 1 acre of land goes for about 1,500. But you're gonna have to pay all of the other extra fees, which might take you like 5,000 or so. But that's really not that expensive, you know what I'm saying, for what you can get from it. Mm-hmm. So it can be a spiritual retreat, even therapeutic. And the last point that I have was spiritual freedom. And that means that you have the time, the resource, the space, everything that we see listed above, all of those bullet points, you have all of them condensed in one. And that will give you spiritual freedom, and you can explore as much of your curiosity about yourself, life, God, and the implications of all of that abundantly daily for the rest of your life. And that's what land can afford you. So These points, I'm sure, should reach different people that it resonates with, and hopefully it inspires you to tap in and follow us, subscribe and follow us as we start to purchase and actually gain this land that we're speaking of. And you will see the different reasons that people attain it and how well it does for them. And I will be documenting people who already own land, who already purchased it, and how they're using it and how useful it is for them. So with that, with the spiritual reasons, that's what's most, resonates the most with me, that appeals most to me. But those are the points. Okay, now this flyer, this chart here is basically for those who want to understand everything we're speaking of in one context and in one page, on one paper. And we see on the left, it says buying land. In the middle, it says buying land for. So there's different reasons to buy land. And on the right, we see it says for those who own land. Those are for those who own land, not those who desire it, but those who own it. And right now we're focusing on Arizona. So at the top, it says land, but it says buy land, where? In Arizona. For those who want to buy land in Arizona, particularly, especially, we have a Facebook group we created. It's basically just as simple as Arizona land. You look it up in your Facebook search. And please join it and please add yourself there. And because we're creating a contact list of people who things or who desire land as well that are on these 3 different lists. Okay. So I'll briefly summarize the list. Buying land, you can buy it. Remember, we have many different methods and many different plans to execute and buy land, So for buying land, you can buy it independently, meaning by yourself on your own. And we can all help you get it on your own with resource, like with different information, experience, and so on. So you can buy it on your own independently. But we're also interested in group investment and crowdfunding. So why that? Because we have different cultural backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, and different religious backgrounds, and even political backgrounds. So we want to be fair and give everybody their own leverage to do a group investment, their own group that they identify with or that they resonate with. So remember, independently or in a group is what we're interested in. And the third, we're interested in fundraising and donations of land. If you have that available, or if you are interested in just donating, let's say, the funds to purchase the land, we're interested in as well. But I suggest that you don't just jump out the window, that you follow these teachings or these videos as we go in the future, and you'll learn why that's significant to invest in first. But those are the 3 ways that we're trying to buy land. And so the middle chart is what are we buying land for? That's pretty much what this whole video was for. But for spiritual reasons, physical reasons, and even, like we said, even for psychological reasons, for your health. And for those who own land, those who watch this video that own land, who have already went through the process of purchasing it and farming it and so on, we're interested in connecting with you on a contact list. If you want to donate land or to sell an acreage of that land, a few acres of that land, or to lease land. So we're looking for land that's available. And for that column, it doesn't have to just be Arizona. You're anywhere in the Southwest, Cali, California, all the way to Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Southern Utah, and so on. So our base, though, that we're most comfortable with is Northern Arizona. So those are the 3 different critical points about this chart. And we're trying to stream all of that energy, all of these different people on this contact list on Facebook for now. We'll have a website running. We'll be able to collect all of these individuals soon. But just look for it. I'll show you what it looks like when you go on Facebook. It's just Arizona land. We have a small amount of members now because we literally just created it about a month ago. But this is for Arizona land, if you're interested. And Northern Arizona, the land there, they're saying is gorgeous, it's beautiful. I've driven through there and I've seen Northern Arizona as far as, like, let's say Utah and so on. And it's gorgeous. It's worth it's a mountainous region, and it's beautiful. Subscribe to the channels that you see this video, and also find that Facebook group, and we'll collect you on a contact list. Or you can comment under this video your name, maybe your email, and your number, and what you want to purchase the land for, or if you own land, and the details of that. So with that, I gave a list of reasons why we should be inspired to buy land, why it'd be useful for you, for your life. It will transform your life, give you a higher quality of life. Hopefully you all learned something and it piqued your interest.